Hi Vaibhav, how are you doing?
I'm good, Sanket. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. We have Vaibhav Hariharan here with us, who is All India rank 2 from the January 21 attempt. And the fascinating thing, in fact, the most fascinating thing that I have heard in this entire year is that somebody has scored 94 in SEM. Uh, I I was thinking that if I give uh, suggested answer key to a person, then also he would or she would not be able to score 94. But Vaibhav has done it in the exams, and that is something amazing. So, congratulations, Vaibhav.
Thank you.
How was your experience overall when you saw the result, and then probably you went through your marks and saw 94 in SEM?
Yeah. So the results were supposed to come out in the afternoon itself on 21st, and when they didn't come out, it was really frustrating. So entire day keeping on pressing the refreshing button continuously till 9 at night, and then finally at 9 I gave up. Ki today result is not going to come. It will come tomorrow. Then
Right.
I went and had my dinner, and when I came back, I saw the message on my screen. Someone had sent me a message, "Aa gaya." And
Oh.
that's when I realized the results have come. I went and checked the results. I only saw the pass first. I didn't see
Okay.
anything else.
Yeah.
Pass and
Because
pass
that's
dekh liya.
important.
I went and told my parents कि I have passed. And then it sunk in कि हाँ marks भी देख लेते क्या आए हैं करके. Then I went back and saw the marks. And even during the marks, I saw just the total marks पहले 601 आ गया है. I realized merit आया होगा. Subject wise पे तो I didn't even go at first. Merit आया है देखा. I checked the merit and then again celebration started. And after a bit of time, I went and saw subject wise what are the marks exactly.
Hmm. So, how many marks were you expecting from SCMP, especially after the November 20 scenario?
Yeah. So in the Jan 21, the paper was a bit conceptual.
Hmm.
I won't say tough, but it was really conceptual.
Yeah.
And it's always observed that when the paper is a bit conceptual, the checking is generally a bit easy. So
Okay.
I was expecting at least 75 in SCMP.
Oh wow, that's wonderful. And for the amount of marks that you've actually scored compared to 75 is something out of the mind. Uh, for all the viewers who are going to watch this video, मैं आपको बता दूं कि ये रैंकर वाले लोग अलग ही होते हैं। इनके जैसा ना तो मैं बन सकता हूँ, ना ही मुझे लगता है कि मैं कभी बन सकता था। फॉर द अमाउंट ऑफ फॉर द नंबर ऑफ मार्क्स दैट ही हैज स्कोर्ड इन एससीएमपी, आई थिंक मुझे 2 अटेम्प्ट लग जाएंगे कि मैं इस टोटल को थोड़ा compete कर सकूं इस टोटल के साथ में। But wonderful. I mean, 94 is something really exceptional. I've been teaching SCMP since last 10 months, और मैंने नहीं देखा है किसी स्टूडेंट को कि वो इतना conceptually understand कर ले इस सब्जेक्ट को, because the subject is new, and इतना अच्छे से स्कोर कर पाए। So what was your approach towards the subject, because the subject is new, और ज्यादातर स्टूडेंट्स क्लासेस से उतने satisfied नहीं है। So how did you approach this subject?
Okay, so coming to the SCMP strategy, so इंटर में भी मेरी कॉस्टिंग इतनी स्ट्रांग नहीं थी. आई यूज्ड टू रिलाई ऑन एफएम इन द कॉस्टिंग एंड एफएम पेपर टू स्कोर ग्रेड. तो
Yeah.
तभी कॉस्टिंग काफी इग्नोर हो गई थी. So when I started with my final, first so I joined JK Shah classes for all the subjects, face to
Okay.
face classes. So वहाँ we had SCMP lectures, so I attended those. And during the study leave, for the first 7 to 8 days, I was only planning कि हर subject को कैसे पढ़ना है, क्या
Okay.
order में पढ़ना है. So
So
during
you
the
took
planning
seven
days,
days to plan.
yeah, 1 day a subject.
Okay. Wow.
I was
Got
only
it.
planning. And उसमें SCMP के डेट पे I realized that नहीं, I have to go back and strengthen my inter first.
Hmm.
Inter के topics, if I know well, then only I will be able to handle final.
Okay.
So I selected inter में से standard and marginal costing, and even operating costing and a bit of joint and byproducts, just to
Okay.
refresh and to get a bit thorough with the concept, because in final we see a bit of application of these topics.
Yeah.
So I went for these topics first. After completing these topics, I went to the first 4 chapters in
Okay.
SCMP module. So if you
From
observe the
SMP.
syllabus of SCMP, yeah, from study material, I referred only the study material and all ICAI, RTP, MTP case studies, whichever were put up on the website. I did not refer to any other material at all.
Okay, all right.
Not even the old practice manual. I remember there was some FAQ which said that you don't need to refer to old practice manual.
Yes.
ICA had released something, so I didn't go for the old PM.
Yeah. So just to clear out, to all the students who generally come up on any platform and ask if it is important or if it is relevant to go through old course questions, um, it's not important to waste as much time as you are in the old syllabus questions or old PM. Of course, there you'll find a few questions which are relevant from the new syllabus perspective, but if you see a cost benefit analysis, then just go through the new syllabus questions and probably you'll be able to get a good conceptual clarity.
Right. So if you look at the SCMP syllabus structure, the first 4 chapters are regarding the various methods of doing business, the various models which can be applied while conducting a business, how to focus on customer satisfaction, how to improve the flow of inventory, the goods, how to reduce the storage cost, etc. So the first 4 chapters can be classified as ways of doing business.
Right.
Then chapter 5 is quite small. It is I don't even count it as a separate chapter. It gets done with the other chapter.
All right.
And then coming to chapter 6 and 7, they are the hardcore numerical part, which deals with how you can make a decision, how to use marginal costing, how to determine the pricing, and all these topics. So these are fairly linked with your inter. And to gain a grip on these topics, you need to understand the first 4 topics, because many a times questions come on outsourcing, gain sharing, where you have to determine the pricing, and you also have to explain the non-financial element, the ethical considerations. And for that, you need to know outsourcing in chapter 2. You need to know the gain sharing element, the supply chain, how it works. So I always suggest that you should go for the first 4 chapters first. Generally, students do the reverse. They think कि IPCC में marginal standard पढ़ा है, final में वो पहले कर लेते हैं, and then we will go back to the theory.
Right.
So that's a reverse way of doing it, and some people do it and they do well. I don't say कि that's totally wrong, but this one suited for me really well. And after doing the first 7 chapters, then I went on towards budgetary control and standard costing.
Okay.
So once you have decided the price at which you have to sell the product, you have to determine the budget, how many units you can sell. You have to compute the, like you can make an entire budgeted profit statement. We don't generally get that to do in final, but that's how the process will work when you ideally go and do a business.
Right.
So once you create a budgeted profit statement, then you can do the standard costing to identify the variances, to report the variances, and to rectify the variances.
Correct.
So that's how budgetary control and standard costing get connected. And in between, we can incorporate topics of beyond budgeting and the behavioral aspects of budgets.
Right.
Like the top down and the bottom up approach. And then once the budgeting has been done, then we can go and do the thing related to performance evaluation. Like entire year you have followed the budget, and at the end you are doing an appraisal.
All right.
So this is how you can link all the chapters of SCMP into one thread. The chapters related to divisional transfer pricing and strategic analysis of operating income, these two can be considered as 2 standalone chapters, not really directly linked with any other chapter.
Okay.
But they should also be done after you do the first 4 chapters only.
Correct. Yeah. So in fact, when I go on to talk about the order of chapters that one should prefer, I have an approach that goes completely along with the study material. What I say is that you go as per the chapters given in SM. You do the first 4 chapters, and I believe in that exactly as the same way you had said it. Then I tell them to go through chapter 5, because that is also a part of chapter 4, a little bit related to chapter 4. In fact, now they have increased the content in chapter 5 for May 21 examinations and further.
Is it?
So I think the chapter has become more important from the exam perspective. Then probably you could do chapter 6, which requires a lot of sum solving, and then you can also focus on the ethical and non-financial part, which, as you mentioned, are related to the first 4 chapters. And then chapter 7 is again related to decision making, because that is pricing decisions. So that is how I suggest. But I mentioned that probably it is important to chapter 8 first, because I think it's quite important to understand the background of the working, so that you can understand what organization wants, what they are looking for, what their objectives are, and based on their objectives, probably one could frame budget and then go for standard costing. So that is how I,
Right. Even
that is,
that's
yeah,
a logical flow.
yeah, that is how I approach SEMP. But so a lot of students are facing problems related to theory. A lot of them have this concept in mind that they have to mug up the theory. While I have gone on platforms to say that you don't have to mug up theory, you have to understand and only understand. What is your take on that? How did you do it? Did you mug it up or did you just go for understanding?
No, I did not mug up the theory at all. It
Okay.
was repeated reading of the chapters. I read the concepts again and again, and I tried to link them with actual businesses. Like
All right.
if we are talking about a JIT system, I used to visualize in my mind if I have a factory where I'm manufacturing plastic bottles or if I'm
Mhm.
manufacturing chocolates, then how would I apply the JIT system there? It
Right.
could be any business, and you don't really have to actually visit the industry to visualize something. You
Mhm.
can just Google something and find, or you can even visualize directly. Like you can easily gauge what would be the ingredients for manufacturing a bottle or for manufacturing a chocolate. These
Right.
are some general things which we see in our day-to-day lives. So you
Mhm.
can just directly link it with the points, and it will help you to remember the flow of how you should answer. It will help you to remember the flow of the points. And then in the last month, I went on to mug up some of the head points and some
Mhm.
of the keywords. But
Yeah.
that's about the only mugging up I did for SCMP theory. And coming to mugging up part, mugging up is not really necessary, but students who are facing difficulty with English as a language, having a difficulty in framing sentences, they generally go for mugging up the entire theory. So I would
Right.
suggest that use the 2.5 years which you're getting during articleship to strengthen your English a bit so that you can frame your own sentences. And I have also heard many people saying that the SCMP theory is very generic.
Mhm.
People generally don't understand ki what we should write, kahan se start kare, kahan se khatam kare.
Okay.
So use the fact that the SCMP theory is generic to your advantage. If the theory is generic, then you can also write some general points along with what is there in the module to show that your answer sheet is standing out. So SCMP is not a single subject related to costing anymore. It is related to management. It is related to economics. Even EVS comes into the play in
Correct.
environmental management accounting.
Yeah.
So bring out the topics related to economics, demand and supply, about pollution, about GDP. You
Mhm.
can bring about the various factors which you have studied from class 9th or class 11th. Whenever you start studying economics, you
Yeah.
can try to link the concepts. You
Right.
don't have to write a totally out of the box answer, but along with what is there in the module, if you can write 2 or 3 points more, then that would help your answer sheet stand out among others.
Correct. In fact, I think understanding of English is also required for understanding the questions and what is required by the question, so that
Correct.
you can answer correctly.
Yeah.
Um, Another thing is that a lot of students think that even if we're writing the answers correctly or we're mugging up the theory and we're replicating the entire theory portion in the answers, we're still not getting marks. So for questions, which came in new in January 21 paper and required a little bit of analysis, especially the Six Sigma question that was there in the paper.
Yes.
Uh,
Yes.
for questions like those, how do you write answers? Because one thing that a lot of students have who are doing chartered accountancy uh, is that you have to match your answers to the suggested answers, and that is not generally possible. So how did you think you'll write an answer so that you can get as many marks as you can?
So coming to matching your answer with the suggested answers, that's not really always possible all the time. So we should try to stop targeting that. What is out of your control, don't try to focus on that too much. Focus on what is in your control. So just as you took the example of the Six Sigma question, so generally what happens when people are studying different models in SCMP, they don't try to understand the differences between the models. They just study the model as it is. So if you think about Six Sigma primarily focuses on reducing defects, increasing the accuracy in the production, and reducing the wastage.
Right.
So if there is a statement, there was one statement in the paper which said Six Sigma does not guarantee that a market will exist for the product.
Correct.
So this is actually a true statement.
Yeah.
You cannot guarantee that there will be a market for a product just because there are zero defects in the production.
Correct.
Demand depends upon various factors like the consumer's taste, preferences, the availability of substitutes, complements, competitors, n number of factors. And just as I explained, this is what we study in economics in class 12. And I linked that and I wrote out of my general knowledge and understanding of the topic. And it's totally fine to write out of your knowledge of the topic when the question is new, because you are showing that you have actually understood the concept. Just you need to ensure that you're framing your sentences correctly and the meaning doesn't change.
Correct. So if I have to frame what you said in one line, it would be that don't go for writing answers, try to solve cases.
Right. Right.
So coming to cases, there have been a lot of case-based scenarios coming in the question papers, and especially the case study, which comes for 20 marks and is a compulsory question. I happen to evaluate a lot of certified copies from November 20 exams, and for a repeated case study, you don't expect that a lot of students will score around 5 marks out of 20. How did you approach while studying, while preparing for SCMP? How did you approach case studies?
Okay, so when I approached the case studies for my CA final examinations, I read the entire requirement part of the question first. What is asked.
Okay,
so after finding out what is asked, yes.
Right.
So if once I have read what is asked, generally I will come to know what model I have to apply.
Great. Yeah.
Say for example, environmental management accounting or Fitzgerald and Moon model. I would be able to identify what is the model. It's generally given. 99% times it is given.
Yeah.
So once you have identified the model, just mentally recollect the structure of that model in your mind. इसमें क्या क्या था? Environmental management में there is about wastage, there is about efficiency, input output ratio, there it is about water conservation. There are some 5 points like this. So once you have remembered this, go and read the text. Generally case study के text में भी they give it in 4 to 5 paras, and you will be easily able to link कि कौन से para कौन से point से related है.
Correct. Yeah.
So once you have linked that, and then you go back to the requirement and see कि requirement कितने marks की है. 5 के 4 दिए हैं questions या फिर 10 के 2 दिए हैं. And depending upon that, you have to determine the length of your answer. And you have to also ensure कि अगर 5 के 4 questions है, तो दूसरे क्वेश्चन का कंटेंट पहले क्वेश्चन में कवर ना हो. Write it as separate only.
Okay.
So structure your answers in that way. And then when you're writing an answer, मॉड्यूल में जो हेड पॉइंट्स दिए हैं, मॉड्यूल में जो कंटेंट दिया है, दैट इज द आउटलाइन ऑफ योर आंसर, दैट इज द स्केलेटन ऑफ योर आंसर. तो वो लिखना, गिव द हेडिंग व्हाट इज गिवन इन द मॉड्यूल, मॉड्यूल में जो लैंग्वेज है उसके 1 या 2 सेंटेंसेस लिख देना, एंड फिर उसके नीचे इन दिस गिवन केस दिस पॉइंट कैन बी अप्लाइड इन दिस मैनर, and in the given case the company can improve its water conservation processes by reducing the leakages, by ensuring that the water reservoirs are not leaking, and rainwater harvesting can be used. ऐसे सब थोड़े पॉइंट्स लिख सकते हैं अपने दिमाग से, एंड जो केस स्टडी में डायरेक्टली दिया है, directly we can pick up points from there. I'm not saying कि directly copy the language of the case study, but you can use the words in the case study to frame your suggestions.
Absolutely.
If you mug up, you will end up writing only what is there in the module. केस के साथ लिंक करना रह जाता है, and उसके वजह से मार्क्स नहीं मिलते.
Absolutely. So that is what I have been trying to tell the students, that you're supposed to link, and when you are also linking, try to take the points from the case study so that you do not go on linking a point which is completely different and not suitable for the case. Apart from that, for January 21, the case study was very different because you had a lot of questions for a very small amount of marks. Basically 2 marks, 3 marks questions were there for case study. But generally what we've seen is that the case studies are either having 20 marks, 1 straight question, or 2 questions of 10 each, or about that. So how difficult or how easy was it for you to manage January 21 case studies compared to the normal ones?
So January 21 case study was easier.
Easier.
We generally observe that if there are 5 to 6 questions of 3 or 4 marks each, then in that case, scoring a 3 out of 3 is easier than scoring a 10 out of 10.
Correct. Yeah.
If you're answering 3 questions of 3 marks each, there is a higher chance that you will score 9 or 10 marks overall.
Right.
But if it is just one single 10 marks question, it would be difficult to cross even 7.
Mhm.
So actually, if there are small questions in the case study, it works to your advantage, I feel.
Okay.
So that was a major advantage. There were small questions in the paper, and the questions were all related to upstream supply chain management. Generally, people ignore,
Yeah.
they go for the downstream supply chain management. So this time it was upstream. So going to the upstream part, some of the questions were directly, we had to link to the case study. The person in the case study, some advisor or consultant was there. He had given some few statements, and we had to evaluate what those statements were, whether they are correct or whether they are not correct, whether we agree or don't agree with them.
Correct.
And some of the questions are totally based on recall, like the e-procurement, 3
Yeah.
steps in e-procurement. We have to place
Right.
the e-order, we have to make e-payment and all that thing.
Correct.
So some things were directly recall based, and we didn't even have to link it with the case. We just had to write the plain theory. So it wasn't even actually a 100% pure case study as such. Some of the
Right.
questions were just plain theory which we had to write.
Mhm.
So I think it was a really easy case study. It wasn't really that tough, provided you have understood what the question is asking.
All right. Coming to what you had earlier mentioned, that you went into study material and then you referred RTPs, MTPs, and
Yes.
past papers.
Yes.
How many times did you solve the study material or went through study material, and also how many times did you solve the RTPs, MTPs, and past papers?
Okay, so coming to the solving part, I must have solved the study material for 4 times,
4 times.
and the RTPs and MTPs for 3 times.
All right. And
Yeah,
how
and
many? How
by
much?
solving, I don't mean writing and solving each and every question.
Okay.
It was mostly, if I had to solve a question, it was generally done in rough using pencil. On a
All
rough
right.
page, I used to solve the question and just see whether my solution is tallying or not. So
Right.
my focus was on understanding whether my logic is correct, whether I'm applying the logic properly. Writing and completing the paper in time was not a difficult part for me, because I have a good writing speed and my presentation is also decent. So
Okay.
that wasn't an issue for me. It was one of my strengths. So I
All
focused
right.
on ensuring that my logic is proper. But if you have a lesser writing speed, or if you feel that during the paper you get panicked and your mind goes blank and you're not able to remember, then in that case, if you focus on getting adequate writing practice, then that would be great. For the writing practice part, it was just I wrote 4 papers, so that was the only writing practice I had to do.
All
I
right.
didn't do any other separate writing practice. Most of it was on calculator or on a rough paper.
Okay. So these 4 papers were from a test series, or were they institutes material?
2 of the papers were from test series, Atul Agarwal's test series,
Okay.
and the remaining 2 papers were institute's past papers itself.
All
So
right.
when I studied, I used to randomly select 2 attempts past papers and keep them aside. कि ये
All
past
right.
paper के questions मैं revision के वक्त देखूंगा ही नहीं.
Okay.
And then when I wanted to write a test series or a mock test, tabhi I used to take up that paper and solve it, so that the surprise element in that paper remains intact.
Right. And after writing the paper, how did you evaluate it? Did you ask somebody else to evaluate the answer, or did you evaluate it yourself? And then how did you find scope for improvement? Um, I think that most of the students don't are not able to evaluate themselves as much as it is important to do, and then they are like relying on somebody to tell them for the scope of improvement. So how did you do it?
I evaluated it myself, so
Okay.
it wasn't really difficult for me to evaluate. I used to just take the suggested answers
Yeah.
and I used to keep them handy. And when I used to evaluate, I used to ensure that I am a bit harsh in my
Yeah.
evaluation, so that I can be a bit more accurate when I'm writing the final paper. So I
Mhm.
used to be a bit harsh, even if I did not find any genuine mistake in my answer, something very minor. I used to still cut like 1 or 2 marks,
Mhm.
and that used to help me to remember even the minute points, so that would help me to give an edge. And generally, when it came to the numerical part, I used to generally score well in the test papers. I
Okay.
didn't have a difficulty in that. Coming to the case study part, I never really mugged up any of the concepts in the any of the topics. So my answer outline used to match, the headings
Alright.
used to match what is written in the module, the gist used to match, but coming to the language part, my recommendations need not always necessarily match with the answers.
Okay.
So in that case, I used to just jot down what recommendations the module is giving
Mhm.
along with my own recommendations, and I used to try to remember the recommendations.
All right.
So that if the same case study comes or something similar comes, along with my recommendations, I can write the module's recommendations. The module's recommendations are not a substitute for my own recommendations. They are
Okay.
an addition.
Yeah,
So I
they are
used to ensure that I write both.
right. Give something extra to them.
Yes.
Right. That is a very good approach. Um, how much time did it take you to go through the entire syllabus as many times as you've gone through it?
Okay. Coming to the first reading, I took 7 days. 7 days.
Okay.
And 1 day for RTPs, MTPs, and some other questions on the
All right.
institute website. So total, we can say 8 days.
Yeah.
8 days for the first reading. Coming to the second reading, I took 6 days,
Mhm.
2 days per 2 chapters per day, and
All
then
right.
third reading it was 4 days.
Okay. So were you pairing the subject along with another subject or only this
No, I
subject?
was purely doing SCMP when I was doing SCMP.
Okay. So only one subject in one day.
Yes,
All right.
not for all subjects. This was what I did for SCMP
Okay.
and for SFM as well. But
All right.
for audit and law, one subject 1 day doesn't work for me.
Yeah. Because you get a lot bored reading audit and law
Yeah.
the entire day. That's right. How did you manage your classes along with EY? You've been working with EY. You did your articleship from there. Uh,
Yeah.
how difficult was it to manage the classes along with the time pressure that we have there?
So I think I attended at least 85% of my classes. I didn't
Okay.
miss much.
All right.
My team was quite cooperative, and
Oh,
they used to allow me to work on Saturdays and Sundays as per my flexible times. Like
okay.
if I have classes from 7 to 1 in the morning, generally it was 7 to 1 in the morning. So
Okay.
I could go to office or work from home after 2:30 or 3
All right.
till whatever time in the night it takes to complete the work. As you already know, there's no such deadline. So in April and May months, it's a bit difficult to be able to attend classes. So I did miss some of the classes for some of the subjects, but it wasn't really major, and I could easily cover up for that later on by taking notes from others.
Okay.
And during the articleship phase, I didn't do any other self-study. I only
Okay.
focused on attending the classes, jotting down all the important points and all the key points which are told to us in the classes, identifying the important or weak points basically. And the self-study portion was entirely done in the last 5 months.
Okay. In the last 5 months.
Yeah. So I didn't really get time to do self-study. I didn't really have the energy to do self-study after classes and articleship, and then coming in the evening and doing self-study was not something feasible for me because I also had a lot of long traveling hours. So I had to travel like 3.5 hours a day total.
Okay.
That was really tiring.
Yeah.
So I didn't really do any major self-study during the articleship period of 2.5 years.
Okay. So when did you get your study leaves?
So my attempt was actually in May 20. So my study leaves began in December 19.
Okay. So 1 year long study leave you had yourself. How
Yeah.
difficult was it to keep the balance, especially mentally and then also physically?
Okay. So coming to the mental part of keeping the balance, every 15 days I used to take a break of 1 day. For that
Okay.
1 day, I would not study anything. I will just sleep if I want to.
All
I
right.
will complete my neem ka quota, whatever is pending, or I will watch some TV series or movies or something. Going
Okay.
for a walk was out of question because of
Yeah.
COVID. Otherwise, I would have preferred to do that over anything else. So all these things I used to do for refreshing for 1 day out of every 15 days. Like there used to be a saturation point after a level. नहीं आज नहीं होगा आज मूड नहीं हो रहा है बिल्कुल पढ़ने. So
Right.
when you don't have the mood to study, then don't study. First,
Right.
focus on getting the mood of studying. Studying studying with 50% efficiency does not work for me. So I will study with 100% efficiency and I will study for a lesser number of days. That is fine. And but you have to ensure that कि रोज ऐसा ना हो कि मूड ही नहीं हो रहा है पढ़ने का. Then that is a big problem. You need to question your decision कि इसलिए क्यों join किया फिर.
Right. Correct. For how many hours did you sit through during the study leaves?
Okay. Sitting for long hours, I got that training from office itself. It
From
wasn't
office.
really difficult for me.
Yeah.
So 8 to 10 hours a day was what I began with in
Okay.
December, like around December 10 or 11 after my planning 8 days.
Mhm.
So I started with 8 to 10 hours a day. January onwards, I extended to 10 to 12 hours. And then by March, I was at 16 hours a day almost.
Okay.
16 hours a day actual sitting. So effectively, it would be around 12
Yeah.
and a half to 13 hours.
Right.
So I'm sitting for 16 hours and then the postponement came.
Yeah.
And again, I took a 2 to 3 days break.
All right.
No studies for 2 to 3 days, only rest. Get back into the mindset. After all the frustration has gone, you can come back to studies with a fresh mindset. So I came back with a fresh mindset from maybe 27, 28 March and again began my studies. Drafted a fresh timetable and did my studies.
All right.
And every postponement, I did the same thing. Took a 2 to 3 days break.
Okay.
Except the May wala postponement on May 2 there was a postponement notification. The exams went from June to July.
June to
That
July.
time I continued studying. I didn't want the momentum to break again, so
Okay.
I continued studying for 2-3 days. What subject was in hand, I completed that, and then I took a 2-3 day break.
Okay.
And then coming to the last postponement, which happened in November, the November 1 to November 21
Yeah.
postponement. That time I didn't take any break.
Right.
Because it was only 20 days and it wasn't
Yeah, it was the last
really a
month.
long time.
Right.
So
Makes
I
sense.
didn't take any break at that time.
Okay. And would you spend some time with your mobile or some device, watch some entertainment program or something every day for refreshment?
Yes. I don't believe in uninstalling everything and
Okay.
then sitting with your books all time.
All right.
So I was completely active on social media till at least 2 weeks before my exam. I
Okay.
was completely active, talking to friends, solving doubts of others, asking doubts to others. Academic, may this was the thing, and then not really watching any movies or series during the daily on a daily basis. I didn't have that,
Yeah.
but scrolling through Insta or scrolling through Facebook. This was I used to do this generally. Yeah, फिर just take up a novel and read something.
All right. But it's still important to
Yeah.
keep the
And
discipline.
tracking stock markets.
Okay,
Tracking
stock
stock
markets.
markets. That was one of my favorites.
Right.
That was a daily thing. Daily
Okay.
15 to 20 minutes. Stock markets देखो क्या हो रहा है.
Early in the
Where
morning.
is your portfolio going?
Okay.
Not really early in the morning always. Any time of the day whenever I felt like
Okay.
it.
Okay. But still, it's very important to keep the discipline going. I mean, you cannot waste a lot of time scrolling through Insta if you do not have self-discipline to stop Instagram or whatever social media at the time when it is important to, shut your phone down and keep it away and go back to study.
Right.
Then it's quite important
In
that you
fact, I did try.
uninstall it.
I did try to uninstall everything. I had uninstalled it once.
Okay.
And then again I was back in 3 days.
All right.
नहीं हुआ.
But
I
you still
can't
had the discipline to
totally.
shut it down when it was needed.
Yeah. I could shut it down in like 15 to 20 minutes. I never scrolled for more than 15 minutes at a time.
All
Like,
right.
हो जाता था. It was not really difficult to detach myself from that.
Okay. Yeah, I think 15 to 20 minutes is quite reasonable. Even I used to watch a series during my study leaves for 20 minutes, watch one episode per day, and I'd be like, okay, yeah.
There I need to improve my control. If I start with a TV series, I can go on.
Okay.
So I don't do that on a day. I did not do that on a daily basis because I won't stop. I know that.
All right.
So I didn't take up that.
Okay. So I think we've covered most of the things. One thing I'd like to ask you is that do you think self-study is possible for SCMP? Because a lot of students go through the classes, they invest heavily in their classes for SCMP, and then when they're not satisfied, then there's a lot of dissatisfaction that is created, and then there's demotivation. They lack confidence with the subject, don't know the correct mindset to approach it. Do you think self-study is possible with the subject, and how to go about it then?
Self-study is largely possible for the subject. In fact, for all the subjects, self-study is possible.
Okay.
And SCMP के point of view से specifically speaking, self-study is very easy, and whatever classes you attend, whatever professor you refer to, that doesn't matter. In the end, you have to do your self-study,
Yeah.
and you have to go in detail in the subject. You have to visualize the concepts in your mind. And regarding the dissatisfaction part, that's not really because of the professor. Professors, they teach well, they teach the content properly, but students generally have a mind block कि ये subject tough है, बदल गया है, पहले सिर्फ सम्स आते थे, अभी theory भी आ रही है, तो theory आ गया है तो पेपर में theory कैसे लिखूंगा, theory समझ में नहीं आ रहा है,
Right.
या फिर there is that fear in the mind.
Okay.
So you need to remove that fear first from your minds. You need to think, and one of the best ways to remove the fear from the mind is to think from it from the point of view of a businessman. अगर आप खुद ओनर होते तो आप ये सब्जेक्ट को रियल लाइफ में कैसे अप्लाई करते? If you are able to think that, and if you are able to decide on the basis of that, then in that case you can remove the fear of the subject. And in fact, old syllabus का AMA जो होता है, that is a bit more difficult than SCMP, I feel, because numerically वो बहुत ज़्यादा rigorous है. And sometimes it becomes so difficult you don't even know where to start solving the question.
Correct.
But SCMP में ऐसा नहीं होगा. If you have studied the entire syllabus, you will be able to write something. ऐसा नहीं होगा कि मुझे आता ही नहीं है ये टॉपिक, या फिर किधर से स्टार्ट करूँ, क्वेश्चन समझ में ही नहीं आ रहा है, ऐसा नहीं होगा. अगर क्वेश्चन में प्रैक्टिकल प्लस थियरी पूछ रहे हैं, तो अगर प्रैक्टिकल पार्ट में आप कंफ्यूज हो गए या फिर अटक गए हो तो यू कैन एटलीस्ट राइट द थियरी पार्ट. सो यूज दैट टू योर एडवांटेज. अगर 10 मार्क की क्वेश्चन है और 4 मार्क्स का थियरी है, तो थियरी ही लिख के आ जाओ अगर प्रैक्टिकल नहीं हो रहा है, या फिर अगर प्रैक्टिकल हो रहा है और थियरी नहीं हो रहा है, तो ट्राई टू रिमेंबर द थियरी, ट्राई टू राइट इट, बट एंश्योर योर प्रैक्टिकल पार्ट इज एक्यूरेट. सो इन एवरी क्वेश्चन 10 में से 6-7 तो आप स्कोर कर ही सकते हैं अगर आपको नहीं भी आता हो तो. और दोनों नहीं आता हो ये होना means there could be a problem with your preparation, or the question is too out of the box, like it happens sometimes, and that's okay. You can't every time. It's a CA paper as of
yeah.
So
but if the question is out of the box, that will be a one-time case. इतने questions में से एक part कोई सा out of the box हो सकता है. But otherwise, if you think
में से it will be 20 marks.
Yeah, but otherwise, if you think कि अगर आप अटक रहे हो, even in the practical portion or even in the theoretical portion, तो फिर आपका preparation कहीं ना कहीं कमजोर है. Probably you need a little bit of more practice or conceptual understanding.
Yes.
Okay, but on the last note, you spoke about the business mindset. Are you planning to go into business in future, or how are you planning to move ahead?
Not really. I have no plans of starting up an entire business or anything like that. My plan is to go for a job only.
Okay.
I'm planning for a job, working in an industry role related to finance and management. Okay. That's what I plan for. Nothing related to business. So, I can visualize a business from academic point of view, theoretically, and practically also it can be done. But I really don't have any plans of going for a business.
Okay. All right. Great. That was a great discussion, and I hope कि ये जो discussion है उससे काफी लोगों को काफी कुछ सीखने को मिला होगा. Because this channel is totally related to SCMP and I teach SCMP. So we've spoken about SCMP, but let's take a few minutes to discuss about the other subjects as well, because हर किसी का कुछ demand होगा. तो थोड़ा बहुत FR और SFM जो कि थोड़े practical side पे आते हैं. How was your approach? How did you study it? कहाँ से पढ़ना चाहिए? आपकी तरफ से आप थोड़ा बहुत बताइए.
हाँ, तो हर सब्जेक्ट के लिए तो पहले इंस्टीट्यूट का मॉड्यूल इज द बाइबल, वो नहीं छोड़ना है किसी भी हालत में. इंस्टीट्यूट के मॉड्यूल के साथ अगर आप कोई रेफरेंस बुक करना चाहते हो तो कर सकते हो, नो प्रोहिबिशन ऑन दैट, बट इंस्टीट्यूट मॉड्यूल इज फर्स्ट. तो मैंने इलेक्टिव पेपर भी GFRS ली थी, तो FR की मटेरियल मेरे लिए, मतलब FR की मटेरियल बेस थी वो पेपर के लिए. सो प्रैक्टिकली FR वाज 200 मार्क्स फॉर मी.
Yeah.
तो फिर FR में I went for the module and I went into great detail into the entire subject. जो
Okay.
जो मॉड्यूल में थ्योरी लिखी थी जिसपे इलस्ट्रेशंस नहीं थे वैसे टॉपिक्स पे भी आई वेंट इनटू डिटेल. आई ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड बिकॉज GFRS में काफी सारे क्वेश्चंस ऐसे आते हैं जिन पे कभी क्वेश्चंस पूछे नहीं गए थे पहले.
Okay.
So I wanted to develop that, and to develop an understanding, I went for Institute's module of FR. Then India's की ITFG करके एक India's Technical Facilitation Group होती है. उनके जो भी बुलेटिन्स थे जो India's implementation related उन्होंने FAQs निकाले थे काफी सारे. There are like more than 100 FAQs. तो वो वाला I had carried for my GFRS paper. Then India's का Schedule 3 का checklist and IFRS versus US gap के differences, all these I had carried to my exam.
Okay.
And FR में I was really comfortable because GFRS point of view से ही मैंने preparation कर लिया था. तो FR was a really strong point for me. इसलिए जब Jan 21 की पेपर टफ आई, काफी टफ थी Jan 21 की पेपर. So जब टफ आई, I did panic a bit and थोड़ा I felt कि पेपर टफ गया है, पता नहीं क्या होगा करके. But I knew some of the parts at least. So कुछ क्वेश्चंस थे ऐसे जिनमें ट्रिक पॉइंट्स थे which are not very obvious, but I could identify those trick points because मैंने GFRS के लिए पढ़ाई की थी.
Okay.
That helped me a lot. Coming to the SFM part, along with Institute's module, I went for A.N. Sridhar's book.
Okay.
The old syllabus book, which has lots of questions. 1000 से भी ज़्यादा questions है. So I went for that book. And that was really great practice, and also the old syllabus practice manual for SFM. I think that does it. In fact, November 20 की पेपर जो बहुत ज़्यादा टफ थी उसमें जो भी questions आए थे SFM के जो out of the box थे, all were from A.N. Sridhar's book.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, all the questions were from A.N. Sridhar's book, so the paper was not really out of the box for me.
Okay.
वो easy था वो paper मुझे लगा. Like it was tricky but it was easy. Minute points थे but it was easy.
Okay.
Then coming to audit and law, I will take at the last. So coming to DT and IDT.
Yeah.
Direct tax में for capital gains and income from other sources, I went for Institute's module itself. I found it very comprehensive. International tax के लिए भी I went for Institute's module for the most of the part. And wherever I got a doubt, I went to Income Tax India's website and directly direct से देख लिया.
अच्छा.
So that's the safest source.
Right.
मतलब safest source in the sense कि it will be accurate. There won't be any mistakes there. No printing mistakes, nothing. So that's the best source. So I went for that. GBP के लिए profits gains and for other small topics like set off carry forward and all those topics which come up till the heads of income rebate तक 87A तक का जो part होता है. All the other topics. These topics I went from Vinod Gupta sir's books.
अच्छा.
And just I glanced through the module कि कहीं कुछ छूट तो नहीं रहा है. That was it. Then coming to the assessment procedures part, I went for Irish Khan sir's video lectures, which were available on YouTube for free.
Right.
So I went for those lectures. They are the most comprehensive lectures I have ever seen on assessment procedures.
Absolutely.
So for 4 to 5 times, if you watch the lectures and if you do the case laws along with those lectures, that's more than enough for assessment procedures. अगर सिर्फ रीडिंग मतलब सिर्फ वो लेक्चर भी सुन लो 5 बार और लास्ट डे पे बैठ के भी आप बाहर करना स्टार्ट करो ना असेसमेंट के टाइम लिमिट्स हो जाएगा.
अच्छा.
It's that comprehensive.
Wow.
It's that comprehensive. And then coming to the other part related to MAT, फिर taxation of EOP, BOI, SEZ, securitization trust जो बहुत सारे entities है छोटे छोटे ये topics ignore नहीं करने चाहिए. Majority people ignore them and उस पे questions आ जाते हैं. This time उस पे MCQs भी थे काफी सारे MCQs थे पूरे 6 मार्क्स का कोऑपरेटिव सोसाइटी का क्वेश्चन आ गया. कंप्यूट द टैक्सेबल इनकम.
अच्छा.
सो ऐसे सरप्राइज क्वेश्चंस ICAI थ्रो करता है हर अटेम्प्ट में.
या करेक्ट.
तो इन DT इट्स मोर अबाउट कवरेज. ICAI ज्यादा क्वेश्चन को ट्विस्ट नहीं करता है कवरेज में खेलता है. इतना ज्यादा वास्ट है कि दे विल आस्क फ्रॉम एनी कॉर्नर एंड अगर वो कॉर्नर आपने नहीं पढ़ा है तो आपको पेपर टफ लगेगा.
राइट.
बट अगर आपने पढ़ा है देन इट विल बी इजी फॉर यू. इंटरनेशनल टैक्स अच्छे से करना है एंड ये छोटे छोटे टॉपिक्स भी नहीं छोड़ने. जो लास्ट का पार्ट है अपील्स रिवीजन इनकम टैक्स सेटलमेंट एंड ऑफेंसेस पेनल्टीज दैट इफ यू डू इट अ लिटिल लेस लाइक 2 ही रीडिंग्स किए या फिर इतना ज्यादा एकदम एक्यूरेटली नहीं किया देन ऑल्सो इट्स मैनेजेबल प्रोवाइडेड योर अदर टॉपिक्स आर वेरी स्ट्रॉन्ग. TDS TCS एडवांस टैक्स रिकवरीज रिफंड्स ये टॉपिक्स बहुत अच्छे से करना है बिकॉज ICAI आस्क्स इन एवरी अटेम्प्ट. टीडीएस पे तो होता ही है
होता
क्वेश्चन,
ही
इस
है।
बार तो अमेंडमेंट्स भी थी काफी
अच्छा।
सारे। देन कमिंग टू द आईडीटी पार्ट, आईडीटी में अमेंडमेंट्स ज्यादा होते हैं बट केस लॉज नहीं होते थैंकफुली, सो दैट मेक्स द सब्जेक्ट अ बिट लेस बर्डनसम। सिर्फ कस्टम्स में है थोड़ी केस लॉज। सो कमिंग टू द जीएसटी पार्ट, जीएसटी में आई यूज्ड टू सिट विद द बैरेट एंड विद इंस्टीट्यूट्स मॉड्यूल, एंड इंस्टीट्यूट्स मॉड्यूल में ही उन्होंने इतने अच्छे से दिया है, बैरेट का एक्सट्रैक्ट भी दे दिया है, एक्सप्लेनेशन भी दिया है एंड नीचे समरी चार्ट भी दे दिया है चैप्टर का।
राइट।
तो आई यूज्ड टू रीड फ्रॉम दैट एंड फिर उसके बाद मैं अपनी एक समरी चार्ट बना लेता था। फॉर एवरी चैप्टर आई हैड नोट्स इन जीएसटी, जीएसटी एंड कस्टम्स आल्सो। फॉर एवरी चैप्टर आई मेड माय ओन नोट्स एंड दोस ओन नोट्स वर सच दैट कि चार पेज में चैप्टर कवर हो रहा है, कुछ तो 2 पेज में हो जाते थे कवर। तो आई यूज्ड टू गो फॉर माय नोट्स ओनली, फिर लास्ट डे पे पूरा उसमें से ही मैंने प्रिपेयर किया। एंड फॉर क्वेश्चंस आई वेंट फॉर यशवंत मंगल सर्स क्वेश्चन, सो दैट वाज रियली यूजफुल। एंड इंस्टीट्यूट के टेस्ट ऑफ नॉलेज एंड आरटीपीस के क्वेश्चंस, सो जीएसटी के लिए दैट वाज इट। कमिंग टू द कस्टम्स पार्ट, कस्टम्स का इंस्टीट्यूट का मॉड्यूल आई डिडंट फाइंड रियली दैट ग्रेट, इतना सीक्वेंस मुझे सूट नहीं हुआ। आई फेल्ट कि अलग सीक्वेंस में पढ़ूंगा तो मुझे ज्यादा अच्छे से समझेगा। सो कस्टम्स के लिए I went for CBIC's website and वहां जाके बैरेट ओपन किया for customs. I opened that, means I experimented a lot पहले customs video lectures देखो and I did a lot of that, but nothing went well. Like I didn't get it. जैसे SCMP में mental block होती है वैसे मुझे customs में mental block था. So I went for the बैरेट. बैरेट में जाके I basically try to understand definitions. अभी कस्टम्स में लोगों को इंपोर्ट रिपोर्ट और इंपोर्ट मैनिफेस्ट ये दोनों अलग चीजें हैं, ये नहीं समझते। लाइक अलग अलग मोड्स ऑफ ट्रांसपोर्ट के हिसाब से अलग अलग टर्मिनोलॉजीज है कस्टम्स में। सो आई ट्राई टू ग्रैब दैट फर्स्ट, डेफिनेशंस पढ़े, फिर उसके बाद आई ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड द ओवरऑल स्ट्रक्चर, एक्ट में क्या किधर है एंड इसमें से हम क्या पढ़ रहे हैं और क्या नहीं पढ़ रहे जो सिलेबस में नहीं है। अंडरस्टूड दैट, देन आई वेंट टू द इंपोर्ट एक्सपोर्ट प्रोसीजर, प्रोसीजर के बाद वैल्यूएशन, वैल्यूएशन के बाद बैगेज पोस्टेज एंड स्टोर्स जो भी है, एंड देन लास्ट में ड्यूटी ड्रॉबैक्स रिफंड्स। आई वेंट इन दिस ऑर्डर एंड लास्ट में एचएसएन क्लासिफिकेशन। इंस्टीट्यूट के बुक में इट्स इन डिफरेंट ऑर्डर, ये सीक्वेंस नहीं है and I didn't find that sequence very logical for me, so I went for my own. And coming to the import export under GST, refunds under GST का part, so इसमें FTP के साथ काफी linkage है, so I would suggest when you are doing import export under GST FTP साथ में कर लेना, at least जो schemes है EPCG, EOU and ये जो schemes है, फिर ये there is one more scheme, advance authorization, so ये जो schemes है इस पे मतलब ये नहीं समझा तो रिफंड्स भी नहीं समझेगा, क्लियरली नहीं समझेगा। So before doing refunds, you should do FTP and import export under GST. You shouldn't just study the topic straightly in line. Exemptions under GST के लिए short में tables and charts बना के पढ़ा तो it will be very quick to revise. नहीं तो it's a very large topic. It runs into like more than 80 pages. The module it's very large. So उसके लिए you need to have a short note. And जो पहला chapter है constitutional provision से related, ignore मत करना। कस्टम्स का जो हिस्ट्री है वो भी इग्नोर मत करना, Jan 21 में 9 मार्क्स आए थे। बेसिकली छोड़ना हिस्ट्री ऑफ कस्टम्स एंड हिस्ट्री ऑफ जीएसटी, क्या क्या आर्टिकल्स आए थे कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में, दे आस्क्ड दैट एंड आई न्यू जेनरिकली, आई डिडंट नो द स्पेसिफिक्स, तो मैंने बहुत जेनरिक आंसर लिख दिया था वो 9 मार्क्स के लिए। सो आई रोट इट, आई डोंट नो हाउ मच आई स्कोर्ड, डिड आई स्कोर और नॉट, आई हैव नो आइडिया, बट आई रियलाइज्ड कि भले ही 2017 में जीएसटी आई हो, इस पे क्वेश्चन अभी भी आ सकता है, तो अभी भी पढ़ना है। करेक्ट, वी कांट लीव इट कि ये पुराना हो गया करके। राइट, तो बेसिकली कोई भी सब्जेक्ट को कुछ भी नहीं छोड़ना है। करेक्ट, स्पेशली एमसीक्यू वाले सब्जेक्ट्स में तो कुछ भी नहीं छोड़ना है, बिकॉज़ एमसीक्यूज किधर से भी आ सकते हैं। एंड देन कमिंग टू ऑडिट एंड लॉ, ऑडिट लॉ एक साथ पूरा डाइजेस्ट नहीं होता है, सो ब्रेक इट इनटू पार्ट्स, रोज थोड़ा 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 थोड़ा। जो ऑडिट है, ऑडिट को 4 पार्ट्स में डिवाइड कर सकते हैं, प्रोफेशनल एथिक्स, कंपनी ऑडिट, अदर टॉपिक्स एंड स्टैंडर्ड्स। सो कमिंग टू द प्रोफेशनल एथिक्स एंड कंपनी ऑडिट पार्ट, इस पे जनरली सब लोग को बहुत ग्रिप रहता है। तो फर्स्ट यू शुड डू कंपनी ऑडिट एंड फिर प्रोफेशनल एथिक्स, बिकॉज प्रोफेशनल एथिक्स के कुछ क्लॉजेस कंपनी ऑडिट से लिंक्ड होते हैं। सो यू शुड नो कंपनी ऑडिट फर्स्ट बिफोर डूइंग प्रोफेशनल एथिक्स। एंड प्रोफेशनल एथिक्स डज नॉट मीन ओनली द 2 शेड्यूल्स, सीए एक्ट के प्रोविजंस, सीए रेगुलेशंस के जो जो प्रोविजंस इंक्लूडेड है, काउंसिल जनरल गाइडलाइंस, एथिकल स्टैंडर्ड बोर्ड डिसीजंस एंड कोड ऑफ एथिक्स, ये भी करना है। लोग भूल जाते हैं, सिर्फ टू शेड्यूल्स करके जाते हैं.
Right.
एंड एमसीक्यूज में ईएसबी डिसीजंस पे काफी क्वेश्चंस थे इस
Okay.
बार Jan 21 में. सो
अच्छा.
एंड इस बार कोड ऑफ एथिक्स में भी अमेंडमेंट्स भी है May 21 में, आई हर्ड. सो
Okay.
दैट बिकम्स इम्पोर्टेंट.
Right.
So that has to be done. Then coming to the standards on auditing part, I went for Pankaj Garg sir's handbook.
Okay.
तो उसमें जो standards दिए थे, so it is really comprehensive and it is also very short. Like 2.5 से 4 पेज में हर स्टैंडर्ड उन्होंने कवर कर दिए एंड सारे पॉइंट्स उन्होंने कवर कर दिए. दे हैव गिवन इट इन पॉइंटर्स. सो मेन थिंग इन स्टैंडर्ड्स इज अंडरस्टैंडिंग व्हाट द क्वेश्चन इज आस्किंग.
Right.
स्टूडेंट्स व्हाट दे डू, क्वेश्चन पढ़ते हैं एंड उन्हें उस टॉपिक पे जो कुछ भी आता है वो लिख डालते हैं.
Right.
वो नहीं करना है. यू हैव टू बी स्पेसिफिक अबाउट व्हाट दे हैव आस्क्ड. अगर उन्होंने पूछा है फैक्टर्स अफेक्टिंग द नेचर एंड एक्सटेंट ऑफ योर डॉक्यूमेंटेशन, तो फिर ये नहीं लिखना है कि ऑडिट डॉक्यूमेंटेशन 7 साल तक मेंटेन करनी होती है, डॉक्यूमेंटेशन शुड बी अंडरस्टैंडेबल एंड वो सब नहीं लिखना है. स्पेसिफिक आई थिंक 6 to 7 पॉइंट्स दिए हैं कि क्वालिटी ऑफ द एविडेंस, फिर उसके बाद कितना रिस्क है मटेरियल मिसस्टेटमेंट का. ऑल दीज अफेक्ट द नेचर एंड एक्सटेंट ऑफ एविडेंस डॉक्यूमेंटेशन. सो वो जो स्पेसिफिक पॉइंट्स है वही लिखने चाहिए पेपर में. एंड इफ यू राइट दैट यू कैन गेट फुल मार्क्स. वो क्वेश्चन है.
तो
So it's
quantity नहीं
not
देना है,
difficult to
quality
get full
देना है.
marks. Yes, exactly. That's the correct summary what you said.
Yeah.
And उसमें भी the main challenge is understanding what the question is asking
Correct.
in standards. तो उस पे फोकस करना and language पे फोकस करना. You can't use generic words in your audit paper.
Yeah.
You have to use the specific terminologies. And standards पढ़ने की भी एक sequence होती है.
Okay.
जैसे मैंने SCMP में chapters का flow बताया था, वैसे audit में ऑडिट एक्चुअली जिस फ्लो में होता है उस फ्लो में अगर स्टैंडर्ड्स पढ़े तो इजीली समझ में आएगा. जैसे 200 सीरीज के स्टैंडर्ड्स में ओवरऑल ऑब्जेक्टिव्स पहले समझ लेने चाहिए. फिर अगर आप अपना खुद का फर्म सेट कर रहे हो, खुद का फर्म अभी एस्टैब्लिश कर रहे हैं, तो स्टैंडर्ड्स ऑन क्वालिटी कंट्रोल SQC 1 आ गया. फिर क्लाइंट आया आपके पास, क्लाइंट एक्सेप्ट कर रहे हो SA 220, फिर एंगेजमेंट लेटर साइन कर रहे हो SA 210, फिर उसके बाद रिस्क असेसमेंट प्लानिंग कर रहे हो 300, रिस्क असेसमेंट प्रोसीजर 350, रिस्पॉन्सेज उसके बाद रिस्क जो असेस किया उसका रिस्पॉन्स 330, रिस्पॉन्सेज जो रिस्क के लिए सब्सटैंटिव है, कंप्लायंस प्रोसीजर है, आइडेंटिफाई कर लिया. अभी प्रोसीजर करना है तो एविडेंस ओपन करना है. 330 से सीधा 500 सीरीज पूरी सारे एविडेंस से रिलेटेड है. एंड वो एविडेंस रिलेटेड 500 से 530 की सीरीज एक साथ और 580 रिटन रिप्रेजेंटेशंस ये कवर कर लो. देन कम बैक टू 450 में आके जो मिस स्टेटमेंट्स आइडेंटिफाई हुए वो मटेरियल है कि नहीं है एंड ओपिनियन पे असर पड़ना चाहिए कि नहीं पड़ना चाहिए, ये डिटरमाइन करो. फिर 700 से 720 सारे ओपिनियन से रिलेटेड स्टैंडर्ड्स कवर कर लो. फिर उसके बाद कम टू द स्पेसिफिक पॉइंट्स लाइक लीगल एंड रेगुलेशन 250, 240 फ्रॉड, कम्युनिकेटिंग विद TCWG, रिलेटेड पार्टी, सब्सिक्वेंट इवेंट्स, एस्टिमेट्स, फिर सर्विस ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, ये जो स्पेसिफिक स्टैंडर्ड्स है. फिर यूजिंग द वर्क ऑफ एक्सपर्ट, इंटरनल ऑडिटर एंड जॉइंट ऑडिट, ये सारे टॉपिक्स उसके बाद कंप्लीट कर सकते हैं. सो दिस इज द सीक्वेंस टू बी फॉलोड जिस सीक्वेंस में ऑडिट होती है. एंड अगर एक्चुअल आर्टिकलशिप में ऑडिट किया है तो ये सब विजुअलाइज करना बहुत इजी हो जाता है.
Right.
सो दैट हेल्प्स. एंड कमिंग टू द अदर टॉपिक्स पार्ट, अदर टॉपिक्स को बिल्कुल नहीं स्किप करना है. सो ब्रेक डाउन द अदर टॉपिक्स इनटू स्मॉल पार्ट्स. हर टॉपिक को एक दिन में एक ही टॉपिक उठाना एंड वो एक टॉपिक अच्छे से करना. डायरेक्ट मॉड्यूल से करना या फिर यू कैन डू इट फ्रॉम पंकज गर्ग सर्स बुक आल्सो. दोनों ऑलमोस्ट इन लाइन है. 95% आई फाउंड इट टू बी सेम. तो आई फाउंड द बुक टू बी वेरी यूजफुल. एंड जहां वाउचिंग एंड वेरिफिकेशन के क्वेश्चंस आते हैं बैंकिंग एंड इंश्योरेंस में स्पेसिफिकली, यू डोंट नीड टू बाय हार्ट द वाउचिंग वेरिफिकेशन पॉइंट्स. स्पेशली जो स्पेसिफिक चीजें हैं जैसे NPS से रिलेटेड जो पार्ट्स है या फिर री इंश्योरेंस से रिलेटेड पार्ट्स है या फिर अपने जो CRR SLR एंड ये अपना कैपिटल एडिक्वेसी रेशियो से रिलेटेड पॉइंट्स, दोज आर स्पेसिफिक टू द इंडस्ट्री. तो वो अच्छे से थरोली करना है. जो बाकी जेनरिक टॉपिक्स से रिलेटेड टू डिपॉजिट्स, लोन्स गिवन, तो वही चेक करना होता है. सैंक्शन किया है, ऑथराइज्ड है, फिर क्रेडिट वर्दीनेस देखना है एंड वो सब पॉइंट्स है. अंडरस्टैंड द प्रोसेस. सो इट्स वेरी जेनरिक. तो उस पॉइंट में यू कैन राइट अ बिट ऑफ जेनरिक पॉइंट्स इन योर वाउचिंग एंड वेरिफिकेशन आंसर्स.
Okay.
एंड उसमें इंश्योर कि यू डोंट राइट वर्ड्स लाइक चेक दिस, चेक दैट, डू दिस, डू दैट, ऐसे नहीं लिखना है. वेरीफाई दिस, इवैल्यूएट, ऑब्टेन कोरोबोरेटिव एविडेंस, ऐसे थोड़ा फैंसी लैंग्वेज यूज करना. इट माइट लीड टू बेटर मार्क्स इन द ऑडिट पेपर. एंड अदर टॉपिक्स बिल्कुल नहीं छोड़ना है. other topics comes for 30 to 35 marks in the paper, and it's the most scoring part. अगर direct answer लिख दिया उसका exactly, तो you will get full marks, 5 out of 5 या 4 out of 4 जो भी रहेगा. And entire 10-10 मार्क के केस सिनेरियो MCQ में ये टॉपिक्स में से आते हैं.
Right.
In my attempt, 10 marks were from NBFC and insurance only.
Okay. All right.
And लोग छोड़ के जाते हैं, and it will cost a lot in MCQs. And coming to the last thing about law में जो company law की part है, that उसमें ये जो अपना directors वाला part है 149 से लेके 205, and inspection, inquiry, investigation, compromises and prevention of operation, ये part तो सब लोग thoroughly करते ही हैं, करना ही चाहिए. तो ये part में I don't think I need to suggest anything. मैंने कुछ नया नहीं किया होगा. And my base material was the institute's module only. And questions के लिए I went for Munish Bhandari sir's book. Alternatively, a couple of my friends who also got a rank, they went for Arpita Tulsian ma'am's book.
Yeah.
And that was equally good. So ये दो books questions के लिए अच्छे हैं. But the main focus is on the module. Try to understand the provision. अगर provision आती है तो वो MCQ पूछे या case study पूछे, कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता है. You can write both. So focus should be on the provision. Repeatedly reading the provision again and again and trying to remember it, that is very essential. And जो other topics है, company law के जो other topics है, like foreign company, needy company, NCLT, special court, जो छोटे topics है, those topics you hardly take any time to complete them. 1.5 घंटे में 2 घंटे में एक topic आराम से हो जाती है, and it comes for 15 marks or 20 marks approximately in the paper, including option. तो इट्स नॉट लाइक नहीं आता है, तो वो करना चाहिए. एंड रिटर्न ऑन इन्वेस्टमेंट इज हाई बिकॉज टाइम बहुत कम लगता है एंड वेटेज है उसका अच्छा खासा, यू कैन स्कोर दैट रियली वेल. तो वो पार्ट नहीं छोड़ना है. एंड कमिंग टू द अलाइड लॉज का पार्ट, जो इकोनॉमिक लॉज है, उसमें एक्चुअली द सिलेबस में कैसा है, अगर फेमा एक्ट है तो फेमा में यू डोंट हैव ऑल द सेक्शंस इन ऑर्डर इन द सिलेबस. बीच बीच के कुछ सेक्शंस नहीं होते सिलेबस में. सो फर्स्ट सी द स्ट्रक्चर ऑफ द एक्ट. तो एक्ट में क्या है वो समझता है, फिर उसमें हमारे सिलेबस में क्या है, एंड फिर उस टॉपिक को तोड़ दो, स्ट्रक्चर कर दो उस टॉपिक को, एंड हर टॉपिक को अलग अलग से रीड करो. सो सीए सिलेबस इज ह्यूज. इन एवरी सब्जेक्ट यू हैव टू फॉलो द सेम थिंग. ब्रेक द एंटायर थिंग इनटू सेवरल पार्ट्स एंड हर पार्ट को इंडिविजुअली पढ़ो एंड ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड ईच टॉपिक सेपरेटली, एंड देन लास्ट में इंटीग्रेटेड एवरीथिंग टुगेदर सो दैट यू कैन लिंक द कॉन्सेप्ट्स. स्पेशली ऑडिट में अगर स्टैट्यूटरी ड्यूज पे आया, statutory dues से it can go to CARO, it can go to tax audit का clauses, it can go to SA 250, legal compliance नहीं हुआ है. So you need to be able to link all these topics when you are doing the audit at least.
Right.
And law में ये list of all special resolutions, all general resolutions, all unanimous resolutions, फिर list of all penalties, list of all thresholds for applicability of sections. ये list मिल जाती है आसानी से, लेकिन अगर आप हैंड रिटन रखोगे अपने पास, सो राइटिंग इज अ रिवीजन.
करेक्ट.
तो राइट इट वंस, इवन इफ यू हैव इट प्रिंटेड विद यू, राइट इट वंस एंड प्रैक्टिस. एंड जो भी प्रिंटेड लिस्ट मिली है उसे आप एक बार बैरेक के साथ भी टाई बैक कर लो, जस्ट इन केस कुछ डिफरेंस निकले तो, लाइक ग्रेटर देन, इक्वल टू या फिर ग्रेटर देन, ऐसे माइनर एरर्स कभी हो सकते हैं.
करेक्ट.
सो यू नीड टू चेक दैट फ्रॉम द बैरेक इटसेल्फ. मैंने ये चेक किया था एंड I checked it really thoroughly, like एक सेक्शन खोल के I went and saw कहीं यहाँ कोई पेनल्टी दी तो नहीं है जो ये पेनल्टी के लिस्ट में इन्होंने मिस करी. So I went into each section in the BARAT and detail में I referred and found out all the penalties. So that was a really great thing. And by writing the penalties, I don't mean कि टीवी के सामने बैठो और प्रोग्राम देखते देखते लिखते जाओ. So you need to actually focus on what you are writing when you are writing.
करेक्ट. इनफैक्ट मैंने भी इस तरह की लिस्ट बनाई थी जब भी मैं अपनी स्टडी लीव्स में था.
Yes.
And helps you a great deal before going for the exam. It helps you a great deal कि आप एक बार उससे glance through करके सब कुछ रिवाइज कर लो.
Yes. Even DT में टाइम लिमिट्स का लिस्ट बना लेना चाहिए. IDT में भी इंटरेस्ट रेट जो है, GST रेट इज ऑब्वियस. कस्टम्स में इंटरेस्ट कौन से दिन से स्टार्ट हो रहा है, कौन से दिन से खत्म हो रहा है, इट इज डिफरेंट एट एवरी प्लेस. सो यू नीड टू रियली गो ऑन दैट. अगर उस पे क्वेश्चन पूछ लिया कभी, देन अभी तक पूछा तो नहीं है शायद, बट इफ दे आस्क, then you should know that
they could ask any time in the MCQs. They could ask, or they could give a budget question.
Correct.
I mean, ICI can do these things.
even law में audit में if you can remember the form numbers in company law,
Form
that would be
numbers.
great.
Right.
In some of the places like foreign company में managerial remuneration में there are hardly 3 to 4 forms. तो अगर उतना याद रख सकते हो then it's great. Audit में तो ADT 1 से ADT 4 and CRA 1 to CRA 4 इतने ही forms है. So if you can remember that much then that's good to go. And common topics है ये LODR, it is common to both audit and law. तो जब audit पढ़ रहे हो तभी law के point of view से भी पढ़ लो, so you can save time for law.
Right.
And अगर SCMP में तकलीफ आ रही है तो law का time SCMP को थोड़ा devote कर सकते हो, because law को 2 दिन है बीच में इस बार May 21 attempt में, so you can do that. So that would be really great. Rule numbers you don't need to remember.
Okay.
Form numbers याद रखो, it's sufficient. Section number I would strongly recommend कि you should know the section number.
Remember, right?
Audit में and law में DT it is fine to an extent if you don't remember the section number.
जितने
still
important
try to
portions के
remember.
याद कर सकते हो.
Yes, and IDT you should remember.
IDT you should, yeah.
You should.
Right.
In GST at least. Customs में it's okay if you
Customs
don't remember.
में
GST
generally
you should.
people don't. थोड़े शुरुआत के याद रखते हैं कुछ लोग और फिर बाद में जाने देते हैं.
There was a list I had prepared for section numbers.
Okay.
And there were days when I used to only revise section numbers.
All right.
Section 1 this, section 2 this, section 3 this. Like there were like 10 to 15 days मैंने ऐसे बीच में plan किया था. Daily I used to give half an hour. मैं सिर्फ section numbers revise करूँगा पूरे GST के and law के.
Right. In fact, I think कि अगर आप section number के साथ में पूरा section revise करते हो तो section number अपने आप ही याद हो जाता है.
Yes, yes.
Great. So this kind of approach shows कि आप कितना logically सोच रहे थे while strategizing, while planning for your preparation. And this is something that differentiates a ranker from a normal person. ये बताता है कि कितना logically आप चाह रहे थे कि आप उसको समझो, and you were not just studying from the point of view of passing an exam, but probably this shows that you were studying from a perspective कि मैं जितना ज़्यादा समझ पाऊँ और जितना ज़्यादा consume कर पाऊँ knowledge, उतना ज़्यादा करूँ. So you were enjoying the studying. ऐसा मुझे नजर आ रहा है आपके approach से.
Mostly I was enjoying.
Right.
There are some topics which you don't enjoy and that's okay. But most of it I was enjoying.
Right. So were you expecting a rank after the papers?
No, not really. So Jan 21 papers were quite tough compared to the November 20 papers and even the past attempts. So when they were tough, जब पेपर दिए थे तब मेरे माइंड में ऐसा हो गया था कि हाँ मैंने 8 मार्क का मिस्टेक कर दिया है पेपर में. फॉर एग्जांपल सपोज डीटी में हुआ था, लाइक इट वाज अ सिली मिस्टेक. कैलकुलेटर में मैंने कुछ अलग टाइप कर दिया, आंसर शीट में कुछ अलग लिख दिया. इट हैपेंड इन वन क्वेश्चन. सो डीटी में वैसा हो गया एंड एक क्वेश्चन में हुआ. इन माय माइंड आई मैग्नीफाइड इट, लाइक एक में हुआ तो और भी जगह हुआ रहेगा,
हो सकता है.
एंड देन मैंने ऑटोमेटिकली आई टुक अ स्टैंडर्ड डिडक्शन हर सब्जेक्ट में कि हाँ मैंने कम मार्क्स, मेरे मार्क्स कम आए रहेंगे. एसएफएम में तो मैंने पूरा अटेम्प्ट भी नहीं किया, 8 मार्क्स का छोड़ दिया था. फिर उसके बाद देन ऑडिट में भी 5 मार्क्स का आई डिडंट नो, सो आई डिडंट हैव एन ऑप्शन, आई हैड टू लीव. फिर एफआर में द पेपर वाज ओनली टफ. इवन आफ्टर अटेम्प्टिंग 100 मार्क्स आई वाज लाइक पता नहीं कितने आएंगे. एससीएमपी आई वाज क्वाइट कॉन्फिडेंट. दिस लॉ पेपर वेंट रियली गुड, आई वाज कॉन्फिडेंट. ऑडिट पेपर वेंट वेरी गुड, बट ऑडिट में कॉन्फिडेंट होना इज मतलब रिस्की. So audit was like that, dicey. And then IDT I was pretty confident अच्छा गया है. And even GFRS I was confident कि अच्छा गया है. I attempted only 93 GFRS में. But जितना attempt किया था I was sure कि I had done really well. So for 4 to 5 subjects I was really good. For FR, SFM and for this अपना DT I was a bit मतलब ये सब्जेक्ट्स की वजह से रैंक नहीं आएगा ऐसा हैड फील. अच्छा. आई डिडंट फील दैट, मतलब आई वाज श्योर कि पास हो जाऊंगा, बट आई डिडंट फील कि रैंक आएगा करके. बट ये 3 सब्जेक्ट्स भी लकीली पेपर वाज डिफिकल्ट तो चेकिंग इजी हो गई थोड़ी एफआर में एटलीस्ट. एंड डीटी में स्टेप वाइज मार्किंग थी एंड मे बी दैट वाज द ओनली मिस्टेक आई मेड इन द पेपर जो मैंने अभी बताई. बाकी में भी करेक्ट हो गया था, सो आई गॉट द मार्क्स देयर. एंड एसएफएम आल्सो जितना अटेम्प्ट किया था that was correct. Okay. So I got marks there.
Wonderful.
So that is really helpful.
Great. Thank you so much for coming and giving us your time. Congratulations once again.
Thank you so
And
much.
wish you all the luck for your future. Keep doing this wonderful
Thank you.
job that you are already doing.
Sure.
And once again, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Great.
Thank you. Okay.